A scary situation for students across the nation. Math and reading test scores hitting their lowest levels in decades. Hi, I'm Christine Persichetti. The nation's report card is in and the grades are not looking good. According to the National Assessment of Educational Progress, the gold standard federal exam, 13-year-olds haven't scored this low in math and reading in decades. In New York City, this comes as no surprise. A startling statistic shows about half of New York City's public school children cannot read. But where many schools are failing kids, Catholic schools are setting them up for success. Currents News' Jessica Easthope reports from one Catholic school in Forest Hills where test scores are only going up.
Does anyone want to add to that?
On Thursday, James Lucas' 7th grade class at Our Lady Queen of Martyrs Catholic Academy has a test on the last book they read in ELA.
Daniel was repetitively forced to move to different concentration camps.
A novel about a Holocaust survivor. And down in 1st grade,
that people deserve fair treatment.
Students are reading about Rosa Parks. At this school, reading isn't just a subject. It's everything.
It's going to take them away from the world they're in, just even for a brief moment, and allow them to be something more, dream bigger.
Anne Zuschlag has been principal of Our Lady Queen of Martyrs for 30 years. She's seen thousands of students graduate, all with a love of reading. And the school's test scores reflect that. On the English Language Arts state exam, of all 4th graders in New York City's public schools, 43.6% are meeting or exceeding the standards set for their grade. At Our Lady Queen of Martyrs, it's 66.6%. For 6th grade, there was a nearly 37% difference. And for 7th graders, a 30% difference.
So we're never really satisfied with where our students are performing, and I think that drives us.
James says in class, reading is a part of every subject, and his teachers keep him interested.
It's either we're learning about ELA in a packet or reading a chapter of our book or doing online activities every day, something different.
When Mary Beth McManus has 30 kids, all with different interests, working on the same assignment, she modifies each lesson to highlight individual strengths.
I see what's working and what's not working. We do a lot of group participation activities too. They can feed off of each other just to try to keep them engaged.
Recently, New York City announced it would be changing its approach to reading instruction. Instead of relying on context to help kids comprehend, it would be getting back to basics and utilizing a phonics-based curriculum. The one Our Lady Queen of Martyrs and the Diocese of Brooklyn never strayed from.
I'm grateful that they are recognizing what we've seen all along. We can adopt new things all the time, but we don't have to leave behind proven strategies.
And even James can see how his teachers have been building on his reading skills from early on.
I learned sounding out words, phonics, and now I've learned reading strategies, writing strategies.
And what numbers will never show is the excitement a new book can bring.
If we feel that we have children that love reading, then we're successful.
And how far reading will take these kids. In Forest Hills, Jessica Easthope, Currents News.
So if you want to make sure your kids are getting the best education money can buy, just visit CatholicSchoolsBQ.org or call 718-965-7380 for more information. Now let's take a closer look at that national report card. 13-year-old students in schools across the country scored on average a 256 in reading out of a possible 500 points. That's a 4-point drop from 2020 when they were scoring an average of 260 and a number not seen since 2004. In math, they scored a 271, a 9-point drop from the 2020 test scores of 280. That number hasn't been seen since 1990. But the school year is coming to a close for both Catholic and public schools across the city. And in honor of the first day of summer, Cardinal Timothy Dolan sent this message to Catholics young and old alike.
These days, often when I'm writing people, I'll put at the bottom of it, breezes and blessings this summer. Breezes and blessings. Because summer is kind of a time of relaxation. I hope it can be for you, that you get a little downtime. And it can also be a beautiful spiritual time for us, these lazy, hazy, crazy days of summer.
Schools will be out for summer across the Diocese of Brooklyn on June 27th. Currents News is counting down to that day and looking back at this fantastic year in Catholic education. The School Year in Review special highlights our A-plus students who are taking their faith outside the classroom and the teachers who are inspiring them each and every day. Just tune in to Net TV this weekend, June 24th and 25th, so you can catch the Currents News School Year in Review special. It'll be one you don't want to miss. Turning now to troubling news from the front lines of the pro-life fight. New York State is trying to expand access to abortion medication. The recently passed bill will make it okay for New York doctors to prescribe and send abortion pills to people in states where abortion isn't legal. The measure is now headed to Governor Kathy Hochul's desk, and she's indicated she supports the law. In Maryland, police have released disturbing video showing a man beating two elderly pro-life activists. The man is seen tackling an 80-year-old into a planter outside a Planned Parenthood facility in Baltimore. A 73-year-old man rushes over to help and is subsequently shoved, hit, and kicked. Police still do not know who the attacker is. Both pro-lifers were treated for their injuries and then returned to the facility 4 days later to continue their activism. People of faith will soon be celebrating a major win in the pro-life fight, the one-year anniversary of the overturning of Roe v. Wade. The tablet is marking the occasion with a special pull-out section all Catholics need to see. The paper detailing the historic day and giving us an update on what has happened since. The states that have passed significant or near total bans on the procedure and the places where the fight continues, the parts of our country that have either preserved or expanded abortion rights. To read this important anniversary section, just make sure to pick up a copy of the paper at your local church this weekend. Make sure you don't miss future editions by subscribing and getting them sent straight to your mailbox. You can do that on thetablet.org. You made your voices heard discussing what you want for the future of the Catholic Church in Synod listening sessions around the Diocese of Brooklyn. But now we're learning what the bishops will discuss when they meet in Rome later this year. A Synod document has been released. It's meant to be a working tool to help guide the bishops' conversations during their upcoming assembly happening this October. Some of the topics the bishops could discuss include divorced and remarried Catholics, LGBTQ outreach, and the ordination of women deacons. And finally tonight, an unholy act in Germany. A cross that belonged to the late Pope Benedict XVI has been stolen. Police say a thief broke open a display case that held the cross at St. Oswald's Church in his native Bavaria. The church was the Pope Emeritus's home parish and where he celebrated his first Mass as a newly ordained priest. The cross, which Pope Benedict wore on his chest, was given to the parish after his retirement in 2013. Police say its value to the Catholic Church is not quantifiable. And that is this Currents News Update. I'm Christine Persichetti. Thank you for joining us because we are putting your faith in the news. Hope to see you again next time.